ever get going building a sentence. And it just keeps getting longer and longer.
Like you could just keep adding on and on.
Yeah, adding clauses, phrases, like you're weaving your way to the main point.
It's almost like you could go on forever.
And you know what? You kind of can.
Oh, tell me more.
Today we're diving deep into recursion and syntax. Is what makes those crazy complex sentences possible.
Recursion. I've heard that word before. But could you remind me what it means?
Absolutely. And the best part is we're using your questions as our guide.
Sounds like fun.
So to kick things off, what exactly is recursion? I'm going to put you on the spot here. How would you explain it in a way that even my cat could understand?
Okay, well, imagine you're exploring a really cool old house. You open a door, and it leads to a room, right?
Okay, got it.
But in that room, there's another door, and that one leads to another room.
Ooh, I like where this is going. It's like a hidden doorway situation.
Exactly. And in that room, guess what? There's yet another door.
Whoa. It's doors all the way down.
Well, in language, it's not doors. It's a linguistic structure tucked inside another structure of the same kind, just like those rooms within rooms.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about things repeating, but about them being nested inside each other.
That's exactly it. It's this nesting, this embedding, that gives language its amazing flexibility and power.
Okay, this is making more sense now. But how about a real-world example? How does this nested room idea actually play out when we're speaking or writing?
Sure. Think about the sentence, "The cat sat on the mat."
Classic. Simple and to the point.
Now, with recursion, we can add a relative clause, like the cat, which chased the mouse, sat on the mat.
Got it. So which chased the mouse is like a little bonus room, giving us extra information about the cat.
Right. Which chased the mouse is a mini sentence inside our main sentence, all thanks to recursion.
And this is where things can get really wild, right? Because you could, in theory, just keep adding more of these rooms.
You got it. We could go even deeper, like the cat, which chased the mouse that ate the cheese, sat on the mat.
Okay, yeah, now we're getting a little complex, but it still makes sense. It's like our brains can keep track of all these different layers of information. We've got the cat, the mouse, the cheese, and somehow it all fits together.
Exactly. Our brains are amazing like that. This ability to handle these recursive structures shows just how powerful human cognition really is.
It really is mind-blowing. We're not even aware of all this mental gymnastics going on when we're just chatting with our friends or reading a book. It's like our brains are built for recursion.
They really are. And what's even cooler is that
Yeah.
this recursion thing isn't just an English thing.
Oh, you mean it happens in other languages too?
In tons of them. Though figuring out if a language uses recursion, that can be a challenge.
I bet. Especially with languages that are very different from, say, English or Spanish.
Exactly. There's actually a lot of debate about whether recursion is truly universal across all languages.
So even identifying recursion is a puzzle in itself. Like, are we seeing true recursion, or is the language just doing something else that looks similar on the surface?
Yeah, there are some linguists who believe certain languages create those complex sentences in different ways. Maybe they rely on word order or special grammatical markers, and it ends up looking kind of like recursion, but...
But under the hood, it's something different.
Right.
This whole debate about the universality of recursion actually makes me think about another big idea in linguistics. It's called universal grammar. What's the connection there?
Ah, that's a great question. The idea of universal grammar is that you know how all human languages are different on the surface?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, the thinking is that deep down, there's some shared underlying structure, like a blueprint for language that's hardwired into our brains.
Oh, and that's a pretty neat idea. So where does recursion fit in?
Well, recursion has often been considered a key part of this universal grammar. But if it turns out that recursion isn't actually universal...
Then maybe that blueprint idea needs a little tweaking.
Potentially, yeah. It's a really active area of research right now. And honestly, it's questions like these that keep linguistics so exciting.
It really does make you wonder, though, about how something as complex as recursion even came about in the first place.
That's another one of those big mysteries. Some linguists think recursion started out simple and gradually got more complex over time.
Like starting with just a few rooms and adding more over generation.
Yes. But others think it might have emerged more suddenly, maybe alongside some other big cognitive shift in our ancestors.
It's almost like, I don't know, trying to imagine what that before recursion language might have even sounded like.
I know. It's fascinating to think about.
It really makes you appreciate how much we've yet to uncover about the history of language and how our brains make sense of it all.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners out there, how does learning about recursion change the way you think about the sentences you hear and speak every day? Does it make you appreciate language in a new way?
For me, it definitely does. It's kind of like, I don't know, a reminder that language is even more powerful and creative than we often give it credit for. And recursion is a huge part of that.
I couldn't agree more. Suddenly, all those grammar rules from school aren't so boring anymore, huh? They're a key to unlocking this incredible system of infinite expression.
That's a great way to put it. Infinite expression.
And it leads us to one final thought-provoking question. If recursion is so fundamental to human language, could we program AI to understand and use it just like humans do?
That's a big one, maybe. But how would we even start? It makes you wonder about the nature of consciousness and what truly makes us human.
It really does. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Big thanks to our expert.
Thanks for having me.
And to you, dear listeners, for sending in your amazing questions. Until next time, keep those sentences coming, no matter how complex they get.